Brad Garlinghouse is on Fox News talking about regulation. He's also he's asking for regulators to step up, especially here in the US, talking about Ripple's stablecoin. So much is in this actually 5-minute clip. I do have a few other things I want to talk about after this clip, but let's go ahead and play this. I'll give you some context and let's learn something.
Joining me right now exclusively is the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. Brad, it's great to see you.
Great to see you again.
Thank you so much for being here. First, assess where we are in this market, because crypto is up huge in just the last couple of weeks, right?
Well, it's been up. It came down a little bit this past weekend, but I think if you step back here the last 6 months, Bitcoin's up about 250%. I think you're going to continue to see tailwinds, partly because of the ETFs that have been approved, which you and I spoke about in Davos, but also the upcoming halving, which is imminent.
Yeah, it's a great point. The ETF.
If you don't know, the Bitcoin halving is we're going from 900 Bitcoin mined per day down to 450, and that's happening. Probably when you see this, it might be happening, right? And what can we expect from the halving? Usually, if you look at past cycles, anytime Bitcoin hits its all-time high, which happened last month sometime, you usually see about 255 to 315 days worth of a bull run. So we should have a lot of really good market ahead of us. I do imagine Bitcoin's going to hit 6 figures in this market, and hopefully XRP will get some adoption in this cycle and really start to take off. That's what I'm hoping.
Introduction really broadened out the market in terms of potential users, I think, and people wanted to get in on it, so they bought an ETF to do so. But you recently predicted that the crypto market will double in size to $5 trillion by the end of 2024. Oh, yeah. That is a big prediction just by the end of this year.
Yeah, I don't even feel like it's that big a prediction when you step back. And, you know, like any market, this is driven by supply and demand. You have decreasing supply for a whole bunch of reasons, the halving of Bitcoin being an important one. You have an increasing demand, the ETF being a key part of that. And I think it's also people realizing that crypto plays a role as an asset. You know, it's a $2.5 trillion market. Maybe it's a little less than that now. But so it's basically just predicting it's going to double by the end of the year. And if anything, I think I probably underpredicted that.
I feel like Washington is still trying to understand this market, and the people writing the legislation, potential legislation here to put barriers and around this market. I don't know that they really understand the strength and the growth story here. But you think putting regulation around this, putting barriers in place is going to be a positive for this market?
There is no question. I mean, one of the headwinds that has held back the market, the largest economy in the world, the United States, has been one of the most problematic for the crypto market.
Very true.
Innovation, entrepreneurs, and capital have flown into markets that have actually constructively engaged this market. So Dubai, Singapore, even the UK, the EU has passed legislative progress here. The US has really been behind the 8 ball. This administration, I think, has taken a pretty anti-crypto stance, led by the SEC. Gary Gensler, as the chair, has really taken...
Because he doesn't understand it.
I think there's
some... Maybe he doesn't, the people working for him don't.
It's not clear to me. I mean...
Gary Gensler taught crypto, blockchain, and cryptocurrency at MIT. It's saying he doesn't understand it. Ouch. Okay. I don't love Fox News questions, but hey, it's okay. It's okay. Brad makes a good point here, right? The US is the biggest crypto market in the globe, in the world. And we need thoughtful regulation that is going to help the space grow and expand and not hurt it. And all of Gary Gensler and this administration has done is hurt cryptocurrency. The last few years have been brutal, right? Imagine where we would be as a market if the United States decided to lead out in front instead of doing whatever we're doing, which is nothing, which is hurting the crypto market, right? I can't even invest in some of these early opportunities because these projects don't want to mess around with US people. That makes me sick to my stomach that I am missing out and you are missing out on opportunities because the US can't get their shit together. Very sad.
Clearly, I think you have politicians, and I would frankly call out Elizabeth Warren goes out and says the only people using crypto are bad actors. It's just not true. And the U.S. should have a pro-innovation, pro-compliance policy. This is good in terms of growing jobs, high-paying jobs, growing the economy. And I think you're seeing people go out and just talking points around anti-crypto that it doesn't even make sense. This shouldn't even be a partisan issue. This is about growing our economy.
Yeah.
This is about leading the next wave of innovation.
Yep.
I was around Silicon Valley when the internet was booming, massive amount of value creation, massive amount of job creation. The blockchain and crypto space is here to stay, and I think that's become clearer and clearer. But the U.S. government needs to embrace that and put those clear rules around it so that all participants can play and grow.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned all of those countries, because that's also an opportunity for you, obviously, at Ripple. I want to get your take on that, because you recently announced Ripple is launching a U.S. dollar-backed stablecoin later this year. You say this bridges the gap between traditional finance and cryptocurrency. Tell us how that will play out, why it's valuable, and give us the growth story for Ripple. Where does growth come from at your company in the coming 3 years?
So to start on that last piece, Ripple, about over 95% of our customers are non-U.S. financial institutions. We sell payment solutions, we sell custody solutions around blockchain and crypto. We're going to keep expanding, even though the U.S. market, as we were talking about earlier, partly from a regulatory point of view, has been slow to adopt. The non-U.S. market has been really, really strong for us. And you're
going to be the infrastructure around all of that.
That is our goal. And we think that opportunity is huge. We think that's going to be great for Ripple. We think it's going to be great for XRP, which is a digital asset we use. So I'm very, very optimistic about that. I just think that the U.S. needs to figure it out.
And the stablecoin?
Oh, the stablecoin. So like Ripple has always been about how do we bridge this new world with a traditional kind of, people call it TradFi, traditional finance. And Ripple has always been that bridge. We started around payments and we sell into banks. A stablecoin, the demand for stablecoins has exceeded, I think, what people thought. It's a $150 billion asset class right now. Some forecast it to be over $2-3 trillion in a few years. The players in that space, particularly one called Tether, is a non-US based entity. And the US, frankly, is kind of going after that because they want this to be regulated. Just yesterday, there's a new bill introduced in the Senate to create some stablecoin legislation, which I think is a positive step of like, hey, finally we might get some forward momentum there. But I think that market's going to grow a lot. I think a U.S.-based player who is compliance first has a great role to play.
It's a great story to tell. Brad, thank you so much for being here.
It's a great story to tell. You know, Brad's right about all these points. Elizabeth Warren, awful person. She shouldn't be in office. If you're in her state, vote for John Deaton as upcoming. I think John can do a lot better things than all of what Elizabeth Warren doesn't do in Congress right now and in the Senate. So also too, guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel and you come back and you watch content, please, it doesn't cost you anything. It helps me grow. We're trying to get to 25,000 subscribers this month, and we could do it with your help. There's about 1,400 away. You could be that person to help me. I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's keep going here.
In the private ledgers as it is on the public.
Yes. The value proposition of XRP is that it has these liquidity pools. It doesn't make sense to isolate something. Like there's no place where gold is worth twice as much as it is now, because if there was, people would just bring gold there and they would buy gold somewhere else and they would sell it there. Unless the only way that you can have the value be very different in two places is if there's a lot of friction. And if there's friction, someone will make a business of removing that friction. So I don't see any realistic scenario where XRP has significantly different value unless something's wrong. Like a good example of a case, there was a time where the value of XRP, they called it the kimchi premium, right? Where the value of XRP in some Asian countries was very high, but that was because there were capital controls, right? That was because things were bad. I think that's a sign that something is not going well. The value proposition of XRP is that you can take it to all of the places, right? If I sell you some gold and you say, hey, this gold can only be used in jewelry, you're like, well, that kind of sucks. I don't want that gold, right? The value proposition of gold is that you have access to the entire value proposition of gold. And so I don't see any scenario in which where it makes sense to snip pieces off, again, unless something is wrong.
All right, you know, as we, you know, get more matured in these markets, right, you're going to see, you know, more companies digitizing gold, silver, or imagine any type of materials that go into EVs or any materials that go into making, you know, big wind farms or solar farms, right? All of these types of things can be tokenized, and the value of those materials can be transacted and live on the XRP ledger or a ledger like it. And that's what we're hoping for. So this is actually pretty cool, right? So you're always looking for other use cases being built out on the XRP ledger. Yes, we're going after payments, central banks, tokenization, but what is going on with like healthcare? And it's really good to see XRP Healthcare, you know, popping up here. The XRP Healthcare booth at Expo Group is prepped and ready. Our founders anticipate welcoming everyone tomorrow and unveiling our highly anticipated second issue magazine featuring Mr. Beast. That's a pretty cool connection. So here's their booth, right? Let me just show you this. You got Mr. Beast on XRP Healthcare. I wonder, like, did he just do that just for the goodness out of his heart? That's really cool. That's really fun. And then here's their XRP Healthcare is the first pharma and wealth care platform in the XRP ledger, enabling fast global payments, improving healthcare access in emerging markets, and creating real-world utility, transforming global healthcare through the... I can't read that one. Mergers and acquisitions of blockchain. It was hard to read. It was all blurry. All right, that was my bad. All right, let's see what else we got here. And here you go, Mr. Beast on the cover. That's really fun. Jazz. My mom's boyfriend loves jazz. Anyways, you have Monaco Long up here alongside President Monaco Long, recognized Ripple, for instance. Could totally imagine that Ripple would also, maybe an ETF that's coming for Ripple. Monaco Long, I'm actually making a video right now with all of these Monaco Long clips, but here, this is a Brad Garlinghouse clip from Paris Blockchain Week. I don't want to play the Monaco Long stuff because I want to put it all in one video because she does a lot of really amazing stuff, and that'll be a video coming out on the channel probably after this video. I'll push Cassidy's one first, but let me just play this last clip from Brad Garlinghouse. If you missed this in my past video, this is really good.
I told David this backstage. When friends of mine ask me, hey, I want to invest in, or how should I do that? I always say, like, invest in a basket. I'm not saying just buy Bitcoin or just buy, I'm saying you want to invest in a basket and diversification. So look, I think there will be other ETFs. Unfortunately, I think it's going to take a little bit of time because the United States SEC is fighting that. But I think one of the things that people don't fully understand, that haven't really paid attention to, in the United States, there's only two cryptos that have regulatory clarity. Bitcoin, and because of the fight we had with the courts, XRP has more clarity than the security. And so that is, I think, it's a differentiator. It does matter. To answer your macro point, look, there will be other ETFs that states. Harder the timeline, because I don't know how hard Gary Gensler and this SEC will fight.
And before we end, I want to share something really cool with you. Check this out. So in Cryptonaires, I actually have access now to deal flow from Alex Becker's community. So Alex Becker, he does a really cool job, great person, interesting personality. If you watch his videos, right, he's got 1.4 million subscribers, but his community, Neo Tokyo, gets access to all these kinds of like VC deals for early crypto projects. And inside of Cryptonaires, you are going to have an opportunity to invest alongside Alex Becker, right? Obviously we have nothing to do with him, but we're getting access to the deal flow that they have. And so Cryptonaires members will have the opportunity to get into VC rounds early, and that's really exciting that I can bring this access to Cryptonaires members. If you want to sign up, it's $99 a month right now, and you're going to get this type of access. I would have killed for this type of access when I was either new or kind of midterm in crypto. I've had to work year after year after year about growing my relationships and partnerships in the crypto space to get this type of access, and I am offering it to you just for signing up to our community and paying a monthly fee. I think it's going to speak very highly and well for the future. You can actually sign up. We have some links down in the description of this video. I hope to see you around the community. I'll see you next time. Aloha.